Hello, and welcome to Book Summarist. Imagine living through the most horrific events in human history, losing almost everything you hold dear, and yet emerging from it all as the happiest person on earth. How is that even possible? This is the astonishing story of Eddie Jaku, a man who lived through the unspeakable horrors of the Holocaust and still chose joy, gratitude, and forgiveness as his guiding principles. In The Happiest Man on Earth, Jaku takes readers on an emotional and inspiring journey. His life is a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the incredible power of resilience. As you follow his story, you'll discover profound lessons on how to live a life filled with compassion, gratitude, and happiness, even when the world seems dark. Jaku's words are a reminder that happiness is a choice, even when the odds are stacked against us. Are you ready to embark on this journey and uncover the secrets to true happiness? Let's explore each chapter and the invaluable lessons they hold. Chapter 1. My Life Begins. Eddie Jaku's journey starts in Germany, where he was born in 1920 to a loving and disciplined family. His parents instilled in him values of education, responsibility, and kindness. His father, a skilled businessman, emphasized the importance of loyalty and integrity. Life was good, filled with the joys of childhood and the warmth of family traditions. Eddie describes a harmonious upbringing surrounded by music, books, and laughter. Education was particularly important to his parents, and they encouraged him to be meticulous in his studies. From a young age, Eddie developed a love for learning and a deep respect for his family's Jewish heritage. However, this idyllic life was soon overshadowed by the rising tide of anti-Semitism in Germany. By the early 1930s, the political landscape had shifted dramatically. Jaku recalls how his friends began to look at him differently, and how schools gradually segregated Jewish students. The world he knew and loved was rapidly slipping away. Despite these challenges, Eddie's family maintained hope and resilience. His father believed that knowledge and education would protect Eddie from the hardships they faced. With that conviction, he enrolled Eddie in one of the best technical schools in Germany, hoping that a strong education would provide a lifeline during turbulent times. This chapter paints a vivid picture of Eddie's early years, a time of love, ambition, and innocence shattered by the dark clouds of hate. His family's values of resilience and optimism, however, would remain a cornerstone throughout his life. Chapter 2. The World Turns Dark. The story takes a harrowing turn as the rise of Adolf Hitler brings devastating consequences for Jewish families across Germany. Eddie recounts how the streets he once roamed freely as a child became hostile and dangerous. Neighbors turned against neighbors, and even those who once shared friendly conversations became complicit in the spread of hatred. Eddie's family faced growing restrictions, from being banned from certain shops to witnessing the humiliation of Jewish citizens in public. Despite these horrors, his father continued to believe in the importance of education. Eddie was sent to a technical boarding school in Leipzig under a false name to hide his Jewish identity. At this school, Eddie excelled academically, mastering technical skills that would later prove crucial for his survival. Yet, even in the relative safety of the school, he lived in constant fear of being discovered. Every day was a delicate balancing act between blending in and avoiding suspicion. Eddie's return to his family in 1938 coincided with one of the darkest moments in Jewish history, Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass. That night, Jewish homes, businesses, and synagogues were destroyed in a wave of violent attacks. Eddie's family home was ransacked, and he was brutally beaten by Nazi soldiers before being taken to a concentration camp. The chapter ends with Eddie's painful realization that his life would never be the same. Despite the immense darkness, he clung to the hope instilled by his family, that resilience and knowledge would see him through. Chapter 3. Surviving the Darkness. Eddie's imprisonment in the Buchenwald concentration camp marked the beginning of a grim and unimaginable chapter in his life. The brutality of the Nazi guards, the freezing conditions, and the scarcity of food made survival almost impossible. Eddie vividly describes how his fellow prisoners clung to any shred of dignity and humanity, even in the face of dehumanizing conditions. Despite the horrors, Eddie's technical skills saved him from certain death. The Nazis recognized his abilities and assigned him to work on machinery, which kept him somewhat insulated from the harshest physical labor. Yet, survival required more than just technical expertise. It demanded mental resilience. Eddie learned to compartmentalize his fear and focus on staying alive one day at a time. Eddie also witnessed acts of courage and solidarity among the prisoners. One story that stands out is how a fellow inmate risked his life to share a piece of bread with another prisoner who was on the brink of death. These small acts of kindness were rare, but powerful reminders that compassion could exist even in the darkest places. After months of unimaginable suffering, Eddie managed to escape during a chaotic transport between camps. Weak and malnourished, he wandered through the forest, evading capture and surviving on roots and scraps. His determination to reunite with his family kept him moving despite his deteriorating condition. This chapter is a testament to Eddie's unbreakable spirit. Though the odds were stacked against him, he refused to give up. His story underscores the incredible power of resilience and the human will to survive. Chapter 4: A Journey to Freedom. After his daring escape, Eddie's journey to freedom was fraught with danger. He navigated hostile territory, relying on his wits and the rare kindness of strangers. At one point, he was taken in by a farmer who risked his own life to shelter Eddie for a few days. Acts like these restored Eddie's faith in humanity, even when the world seemed filled with hatred. Eddie eventually made his way to Belgium, where he reunited with distant relatives. The joy of being among family again was overwhelming, but it was bittersweet. The haunting memories of the camps lingered, and the fate of his parents remained unknown. Determined to rebuild his life, Eddie began working in a mechanical workshop, using the technical skills that had once saved his life. His ability to adapt and thrive in challenging environments earned him the respect and friendship of his colleagues. He also met Fleur, the woman who would later become his wife and a pillar of strength throughout his life. Though he had escaped the immediate horrors of the Holocaust, Eddie knew that the emotional scars would take longer to heal. He made a conscious decision to focus on gratitude and love rather than bitterness and hatred. This mindset became the foundation for his journey toward happiness. This chapter highlights Eddie's transformation from a survivor to a man determined to live a meaningful and joyful life. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the aftermath of tragedy, hope and love can prevail. Chapter 5: Love and New Beginnings. Eddie's life took a transformative turn when he met Fleur, a spirited and compassionate woman who embodied hope and resilience. Their relationship blossomed quickly, offering Eddie a profound sense of healing. In Fleur, he found someone who understood his pain without needing to hear every detail. Her love became a salve for the emotional wounds left by the Holocaust. Their wedding was a modest but joyful affair, a celebration of new beginnings in a world that was still mending from the horrors of war. Eddie describes this time as one of profound gratitude. After enduring unimaginable suffering, he was finally building a life filled with love and purpose. Fleur and Eddie's first child brought even more light into their lives. Parenthood was a joyful challenge that demanded Eddie's full attention. Holding his baby for the first time, he realized that his past would not define the future he was determined to build for his family. He wanted his children to know a world filled with kindness, resilience, and happiness. Despite lingering nightmares and moments of deep sorrow, Eddie consciously chose joy every day. He believed that happiness was not a passive state, but a decision one makes regardless of circumstances. This lesson became a guiding principle in his life, and one he would later share with thousands as a public speaker. This chapter captures Eddie's journey toward healing through love, family, and the conscious pursuit of happiness. His story underscores that even after immense loss, life can still bloom with joy and meaning. Chapter 6: Choosing Happiness Every Day. Eddie's philosophy on happiness is simple yet profound. It is a choice, not a condition dictated by external circumstances. After enduring the worst that humanity could offer, Eddie realized that he had a decision to make: remain a prisoner of his past or embrace the possibility of joy. He chose joy. He shares how he cultivated happiness through daily gratitude and small acts of kindness. Eddie believed that happiness starts with appreciating the present moment, no matter how imperfect it may seem. He recounts how taking time to admire the sunrise, sharing a meal with loved ones, or even offering a smile to a stranger brought him immense joy. Public speaking became a powerful platform for Eddie to share his message of resilience and hope. At first, recounting his experiences was painful, but he quickly realized the impact his story had on others. People from all walks of life were inspired by his unwavering commitment to happiness. Eddie also emphasizes the importance of forgiveness. Holding on to anger and bitterness, he says, is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. By forgiving those who had wronged him, Eddie freed himself from the chains of hatred and found peace. This chapter is a testament to Eddie's belief that happiness is a conscious choice, one that requires daily effort and mindfulness. His journey reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable pain, joy is possible. Chapter 7. Sharing my story with the world. Eddie Jaku's decision to share his story with the world was a turning point in his life. For years, he had carried the burden of his painful memories in silence. But as he grew older, he realized that his story held immense power, not just for himself, but for those who needed hope and healing. Speaking publicly for the first time was daunting. Eddie recounts how his voice trembled and emotions surged as he revisited the darkest moments of his past. Yet, as he spoke, something extraordinary happened. The audience listened intently, their faces reflecting empathy and admiration. Many approached him afterward, expressing how his words had given them strength and perspective. Eddie became a beloved speaker at schools, universities, and community events. His message was simple yet powerful. No matter what life throws at you, choose to live with gratitude, compassion, and joy. He often emphasized that happiness is not found in material possessions, but in meaningful relationships and a heart full of kindness. Through these engagements, Eddie formed deep connections with people from all walks of life. Teachers, students, and even Holocaust survivors thanked him for his courage and wisdom. His story sparked conversations about resilience, forgiveness, and the importance of never forgetting history. This chapter beautifully illustrates the ripple effect of Eddie's story. By choosing to speak his truth, he transformed his pain into a source of inspiration and healing for countless individuals. Chapter 8. Lessons for a Lifetime. In the final chapter, Eddie Jaku reflects on the invaluable lessons he has learned throughout his remarkable life. Despite enduring unimaginable suffering, he chose to live with hope, gratitude, and love. These principles became his guiding compass and the foundation for a life well lived. Eddie emphasizes the importance of human connection. He often said that the greatest wealth a person can have is a heart full of love and meaningful relationships. He cherished every moment spent with his family, friends, and even strangers who crossed his path. Forgiveness is another key theme in Eddie's reflections. Letting go of hatred and resentment was not easy, but it was necessary for his peace and happiness. He believed that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, freeing us from the chains of bitterness. Gratitude was perhaps Eddie's most profound lesson. He found joy in the simplest things: a smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun on his face, and the laughter of his grandchildren. He often reminded people that every day is a gift and that we should never take life for granted. As he concluded his reflections, Eddie left readers with a powerful message. Happiness is a choice we must make daily, regardless of life circumstances. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and gratitude. Closing remarks. Eddie Jaku's life story is a beacon of hope and resilience. The happiest man on earth teaches us that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, we can choose joy, compassion, and forgiveness. Eddie's message resonates deeply, reminding us that happiness is not found in what we have, but in how we live and love. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Eddie Jaku's inspiring life. If you're seeking more transformative insights, make sure to check out the summary of Surrounded by Idiots, which explores how understanding different personality types can improve communication and relationships in both personal and professional life. See you in next video.